Thank you for the presentation. I'm impressed because perfectly described my situation. At a previous job, I remember my first week learning that the office is only senior associate quit. I overheard the conversation where he gave his notice on the phone, and remember my boss screaming at and berating him for taking what sounded like a better job at a bigger firm. That day on, I was walking on eggshells. I never would have taken the job in retrospect. How can I draw the line between setting my expectations too high, unrealistic, but still know how to avoid firms that will not be a place that I want to be versus those that are. Okay, so the idea here, and I think it's important to understand, is that even if you're in a law firm where people are quitting, even if you're in a law firm where things aren't going well, even if you're a law firm where it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It's you just have to you have to realize every law firm has problems with people quitting. Every law firm has people that are leaving all the time. Every law firm has people that are fired. Every law firm. There's no such thing as that. So with the mistake that a lot of people make, very funny. So someone may be at a huge firm, like very prestigious, like Simpson Thatcher, and they'll say, yes, I'm leaving because morale is very low, or I'm leaving because things are slow, or I'm leaving because it's just become a toxic environment. Like they'll say this about a firm. Again, I think Simpson Thatcher, I love the firm. I think it's one of the best law firms in the world. I have nothing negative to say about Simpson Thatcher, but people will say things like this. And they'll say this because I don't know why they say it, but they say things like this about Simpson Thatcher. That law firm, I don't know how old it is. It's 100, I don't know. Or they'll say it about Davis Polk. Looks, I don't know how old it is. Very old firm. They'll say this about these firms, and that's crazy because these firms are going to be around decades from now, or they may be around another 100 years. I don't know, but they're very good firms. And if somebody is applying to one of these firms and they're working at one of these firms and they say something like that, the problem is generally them. It's not the firm because the firm, they may be toxic one day or not toxic the next, but these firms just keep going. So you don't have to worry about, you should not pay attention to people that are unhappy. You should pay attention to the people that where things are going well, right? To people where the things are going well. Let me just write this down. Where things are going well. People who things are going well for. Sorry. Why do you think that if you go to a law firm and almost everyone that goes there doesn't make partner or whatever, that some people do, you're probably better off sticking with the person where things, understanding the person where things are going right. You paint attention to things are going well than those that are going wrong. So this one piece of advice, again, worth the price of admission because everyone makes this mistake. So this is an incredibly important point. So I want to make sure that everyone understands it. This one point could change your life and your career. That's how important it is. If you're still on this webinar, which it looks like most people are, which is great, then this is again something that could change your life and your career. So there are two types of people. There are people that are fountains. I think I put this different way, filling fountains, and there are people that are draining fountains. So what does that mean? So that means that you have a choice of being one of two types of people. You have a choice of being someone that is positive, that is adding value, all these sorts of things, creating opportunities, growing others. And this is an incredibly important point. This is the whole reason that most people do not succeed in life and also in law firms. So this is your choice. You have a choice. And these are people that are negative. And this is again, you choose your path. It's up to you, man. But you look at your parents, you look at people that are successful, you look at people that are not successful, but you look at your friends that are people that you went to school with, people that are doing well, people that are happy, they're one of two types of people. It's just the way the world works. So you have draining thoughts. They're negative. It means they're taking value away from organizations or work with others. That means that they're destroying opportunities. It means that they're not growing. They're not growing others. They're not growing others. There's more to this than that, but this is the general idea. let me just see, not growing others. And there's just people that this is how they are. So you have a choice. You can be one of these two types of people. If it were me, what you need to do is you need to try to be a positive person. So what am I trying to do with you? I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to add value to your career. I'm trying to create opportunities. I'm trying to help you grow. I'm trying to grow myself by learning more things. And do you want to be, again, this is the path that I've chosen. Am I perfect in it? No, but this is the path. And you can be negative and you can take value away. You can destroy opportunities. You cannot be not growing. You cannot be growing others. So if you are in a law firms, you have two choices. You can be this person. You can be this person, the filling fountains, or you can be the one that's draining fountains. And that's your choice. So some associate that's calling up and yelling at a partner is probably someone that drains fountains. These are the types of people that are everywhere. So just because you're surrounded by some negative people that are draining fountains, like that's crazy because Simpson Thatcher is going to be around forever, probably not forever, but you understand what I'm saying. For a long time, it's been around for a long time. All a good organization does, by the way, any good law firm, any good employer, any good company, all they do is they just are constantly, and this again, this is so freaking important. If you learn this, your whole life and career are going to change. Your relationships will change. Law firms are just always, firms are always, what is it called? Expelling people, getting rid of people that are draining fountains. That's one of the whole points. So that's what a good, same thing with companies. Law firms are always getting rid of people that are draining fountains. And what happens to law firms that go out of business? Law firms that go out of business are not draining fountains. So law firms that go out of business, they just have all these kind of toxic people sitting around and they just get so many of them and it overwhelms them. They don't get rid of them. So law firms that fail are often not draining fountains, or they're overwhelmed with bad people that are draining fountains. And so that's what happens. Same thing with companies. Once you get a bunch of negative people there that are draining fountains, you're in trouble. That's just how it works. So you have to choose one side or the other. And you probably know right now what side you're on. And most people, by the way, are often on the draining fountain side. This is what they're looking for in law firm interviews. Are you that type of person? And if you are that type of person, you're going to be in a lot of trouble and you're not going to get jobs. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for fountain drainers. And that's what good law firms are firing people for. So just because a law firm is firing people or getting rid of people, that doesn't mean that you have to freaking quit or that something's wrong. That just means that the law firm is probably draining fountains and trying to remain a good firm. Or the person is just a fountain drainer. Now, does that mean that all law firms are good and all law firms are a good place to work? No, but this is really the big dynamic of what makes law firms survive. You cannot say that Simpson Thatcher or some other big firm is a horrible place because they're letting people go or their morale is low or become a toxic environment. Probably what's happening is they're draining fountains. So that's just what happens. You know what law firms do, by the way? Law firms, anytime there's a recession and work slows down, they often actually look forward to it. Now, do they look forward in a positive way? No, but it gives them an opportunity to get rid of negative people and people that are draining fountains. It's just what happens. It happens because that's what law firms and organizations need to do to survive. If they have a bunch of negative people that are negative and taking value away, doing things that are hurting morale and not growing and just negative and not growing others and just putting others down and sitting around and talking with negative people, those are the people the law firm doesn't want. They know who you are and they don't like it. If you're a really positive person, you're building up other people around you. There's a guy, he may be on this webinar right now, and I really like him. He sent me a nice email after this past one or another one. I didn't respond to him. Should have. There's so many emails, but he's an associate, but I think he's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. But he's an associate at he's keeps getting in these jobs, these incredible jobs at big firms, like huge international firms. But he's not a partner. He's in the practice area, like some sort of very technical practice area. I don't know what the practice area is. It's some corporate related, some sort of very arcane finance or financing airplanes or I don't know what it is, something like that. And he is so positive. Like he sends emails like, "Thank you for your support. I really like this you did. You're this is." And the thing is about him is so interesting is I was wondering like, how does someone hang on to an associate position this long in these major law firms? And meaning making without any business, consistently making and a lot of money. I'm sure makes over $500,000 a year. And how does that happen? Like it happens because he's in this practice area where it's probably very difficult to get business, but he's still able to, when in law firms don't consistently have work, when they have work, they'll always hire him. But he's so positive and building people up and enthusiastic about his job, growing, learning, and doing all these positive things. And that's a fountain filler. And those are the kind of people that stay employed. Imagine this guy, like most people are bailing out of probably the law firms, kind of law firms they worked in 1 or 2 years in, 5 or 6 years later, and then popping in house and doing all these other things. This guy's managed to keep going. And so what's nice is just he's like a fountain filler. And if you see the most successful partners in law firms, like these are fountain fillers. Like they go out and they build up their clients and they add value and they connect to the opportunities and they help the client grow and be good. This is what the best attorneys do with their clients. It's what they do with others. It's what the most successful associates do. They're all fountain fillers, every single one of them, up and down. Some are toxic and things, but those people typically the system will flush them out and they will not rise. I look at attorneys that I knew, and I'm sorry to go into so much detail about this, but it's just so important. I knew attorneys that I knew when I was younger that were partners in law firms because they may have been hired by a branch office of a big law firm when the law firm just needed people. And basically, okay, was going, they were just complete fountain drainers and negative, building people up around, not making people feel good, them not growing, believing they have a really big deal. And all of those people, their careers just went completely in the frickin' toilet. Like they just, now they're major 1,000 plus person law firms. Now they're just cowering in these little firms, a few people without any, I mean, that they may have started. So if you have a choice, and I'm sorry to like harp on this, but this is literally one of the most important lessons that you can have in, in your life, because this is what it takes to do well. And this is what makes people happy. This is what makes you very important. What makes people get important. Let's make attorneys get business. It would make people happy. If you contribute to others and you are positive with clients, employers, with everything, and you are filling fountains, then you are going to succeed in your life and career. You are going to succeed in your relationships with people. You are going to succeed in your relationships with your significant others. You are going to succeed in your jobs. You are going to succeed in whatever you do if you choose this option for your life and your career. And that's what's going on in law firms. When people are losing their jobs, they're typically fountain drainers. When people are doing things that are negative, they're typically fountain drainers. You need to stay around people that are filling fountains and doing positive things, because that's all there is to it. If you need to, and sometimes you'll be in a firm where it's just a bunch of people that are negative and the firm's having all these problems. And that means you go another direction, but you watch what's happening in law firms, who's losing their jobs, who's having problems, who's not getting work. And it's always going to be people that are doing this fountain drainer and so forth. It's how it works. Really, if you ever just learned one thing in these webinars and you wrote it down, this is your choice, is to be one of these two people. If you're a fountain drainer, you're going to have an unsuccessful career. You're going to be unhappy. And you may not even know why. You won't even know, why am I getting business? Why am I unhappy in job? Why do I keep getting fired? Why am I having all these problems? Why am I unhappy in my life? Why do I have bad relationships? Why do I keep getting divorced? Why do people not like me? Why am I unhappy? Like, it's all because of this. It's very simple. if you are building other people up and you're adding value to companies, your clients, your firm, all that stuff, you're creating opportunities for others, you're helping people. That's all you need to do, man. That's it. This is the number one lesson to being successful as an attorney is doing that. If you do the opposite and just take a value, you don't help people. This is what people remember. People always remember the people that help them and help them grow and add value and do all these things. This is what they remember. This is the people that they thank. These are the people whose funerals they go to and give speeches. These are the people that you remember. These are the people that change your life. These are the people that if you are that person, people will always care about you. These are the people that this is it. You just need to be on one side or the other. And if you're on the draining fountain side, you're never going to know why you're having problems in your career. You're just going to think everything sucks. And the whole idea of this, by the way, like I talked to very successful partners, like, and just because I don't know, I just keep meeting them and that most of them are looking for jobs, but people with these astronomical books of business. And all they do, like their secret really, is they give of their time freely when someone's not a client. They always try to save their clients money. They create opportunities for people around them. They create opportunities for clients. They just do all these things that are very positive, and people like them and give them business, and they have these great, incredible careers. They're rich and whatever. And that's what you need to do to be successful. Is you just need to be on one side or the other. And by the way, most people are on the side of filling fountains. Most people are on the side of draining fountains, and that's why they get pushed out of law firms and jobs and are unhappy. That's just how it works, man. Think about where you want to be. I remember one of the most successful attorneys that I ever met. I was in law school with him. I think he's like the head of a huge firm now, like DLA Piper or something. I don't know what it is, but he was always like going around and being really nice to people and offering to help them and being excited and just really upbeat. And I just remember from law school, I was like, why is this guy so freaking psyched and happy? And again, he became without I remember, I don't think he had the greatest grades. I don't think he just became incredibly successful because he was so positive and added so much value to others. And so that's the kind of person that you want to be.